What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 8 of the Fvck podcast. This podcast is a Third Eye Media production sponsored by Rise Kombucha and Vegan Nation. I'm your host, Donnie, and today we have a very special guest in the house, founder and owner of 57Vgan, Tamar. Thank you so much for coming in today.
So cool to be here.
It's crazy. We just saw each other yesterday.
Yes, we did.
But we're going to make it seem like we haven't seen each other in months, right?
Exactly.
That'll make a better
How
podcast.
How have you been?
How have you been? Tell me about life.
Everything's cool.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
So I think for the viewers, it would be great, and the listeners, of course, it would be great for them to know a little bit more about you and your vegan journey. Of course, we're going to get into the restaurant that you had and the grocery store that you have and where we're at now. But I think before we do get into all of that, we'll let the people know a little bit more about like how you kind of came towards veganism and stuff like that.
So I am lucky enough to have a vegan aunt in the family.
Whoa.
And, she's been vegan for most of her life since she was very young. And she's always kind of told us about veganism, and we've always, we're brought up Armenian, so there's a lot of meat every day. Wow. There's not a meal without meat. It doesn't exist.
That's
even though we have a lot of recipes, especially during Lent, that they prepare and it doesn't have any animal products in it, but as soon as you say vegan, they're like, oh, what is that, So we were lucky enough to have her in our lives, and we always used to question why and whatever. So 6 years ago, my mother and we were kind of changing our diet, and we felt like, I think it's time for us to slow down on this animal product and eating less and less. And every time we used to go out, like let's say in the evening, we used to go out to, just to grab a bite, something fast, and the only option was like Harvey's Veggie Burger back then, especially in Laval, because we're from Laval. Yeah. And so it got us thinking as to, we have to be more creative, and the movement was slowly starting. So that's how we kind of went into business.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the transition with adopting a plant-based diet from a personal standpoint. Let's say, was it easy for you in the beginning? Was it hard? Did you feel the health benefits right away? Like, what did you go through in the early stages? Was your aunt teaching you everything you needed to know? Did you go on your own journey? So
we kind of went on our own journey. I mean, we had watched her for so long and seen what she was eating and all. What was easy was cutting meat because ever since I was young, I did not like the taste of pork. Like, that was something I didn't want to eat. And then meat, slowly, I don't know, it's like my body started telling me that, okay, this is not good. And I always had like this feeling of it doesn't taste good. So it was very easy for me to cut meat right away. The hardest part was cheese, which we have so many vegan choices now. I'm so grateful for that. And seafood. Because seafood, I used to love the exotic seafood, and we don't exactly have the similar product, but it's okay,
Exactly.
That's totally fine. And I guess when I was younger, I never had any pets, but when I grew up, my mom adopted a dog, and we had the dog for a very short period of time, which is such a dramatic and sad story I'm not going to get into, but during that very short period of time already, we were so touched to that dog, and when we lost him, I remember crying like a little baby for days and days. So that affected us so much. I'm like, how can we do this? I mean, it was like her baby,
That was your first like one-on-one personal connection with an animal, and just understanding how similar they are to us, and how unique all their personalities are, and how emotional they can be, and happy or sad.
Oh my God, it was like our best friend. So
that's right. That's a beautiful story. So, and when you said you were growing up and you didn't really like the taste of meat, was it also to do that you were making the connection that this was the body of an animal that was going, or was it just literally?
I wish I could say yes, but no, it was just I just
from
didn't like it.
Something wasn't resonating.
Okay,
I like that. And as for so did your mom also go on this journey as well?
For my mom, it was more for health reasons, because she was reading. She likes to read a lot about nutrition and stuff. So for her, it was mostly for health reasons. And you asked me about the effects that we felt, and yes, when you have a vegan meal, of course, it depends what you're eating. Fries are not a vegan meal.
Well, they can be.
No, but I want to say that, when you're having a vegan meal as opposed to a meal full of animal products, you feel heavier afterwards.
Yeah.
And as opposed to when you're having something vegan, it's lighter. And, that bad feeling you have after a full meal, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, 100%. Because we're getting a lot of fiber, a lot of just like whole foods, and of course the natural foods that come from the ground and from the trees and the plants and grow in the sunshine, not inside of dark factory farms and places like that where the conditions of what these animals are living in is so bad. So you can imagine from a health standpoint, not even talking about the ethics and stuff, but just for people who are listening who have never really thought about going on a plant-based diet, and they might come across this podcast. So I think it's so important that people kind of understand the health benefits that, first of all, so for me, I watched What the Health. That was my kind of awakening, which was a documentary that was really linking like diet and disease, especially when you're eating animal products and how it can lead to cancer and diabetes and obesity. And I was like, whoa, those are like scary diseases that you see and hear people dying from all the time. And you're like, I don't want to be one of those people. I want to like live a long, healthy life,
Of course. And thankfully now there's so much information out there. And I think more and more people are watching those documentaries and reading about it, and they want to make a transition. And I really want to point out that however much time it takes for you to transition, or whatever steps you want to take, or how much you want to reduce, it's all fine as long as you're taking those steps to reduce. Because I think a lot of my friends too, like I know from experience from my restaurant and from the first days, people hear vegan or plant-based and they're afraid, and they're like, oh my God, I can't drop everything from day one, and I can't change my diet from day one. But it's okay to do it in steps too. We're not expecting anybody to do it overnight. And your body will tell you when you're ready to transition. So,
and I think everyone's different. Like, because I've spoken to so many vegans, of course, and asked them like, what's your story? How did your journey start? And like some people will be like, I started to transition slowly but surely, eliminating this, eliminating meat, then dairy, then eggs, then But then some people will be like, overnight, I saw something, I saw footage of animal cruelty, or I saw a documentary about health or about the environment, and they're like, they made the click, and they're like, right away, instantly gone vegan overnight. So I think it's so interesting how we all have our different journeys and our own journeys. And, like I'm more on the activism side of things. So for me, I would never advocate for baby steps. I would just sit with someone, give them all the facts, and be like, start right now, because look at what you're supporting, look what it has, the impact on your health, and look at all the other factors, But I have to understand that just because I think like that might not resonate with people. So you don't want to scare them off, because it's the end result that you want is people to make that connection.
Of course, and it depends on why people are transitioning. So people with different reasons, they might not think, okay, I don't have to do it overnight, which is fine too.
Exactly.
And I'm always bringing, the example of my friends, because I know how they are. I know they're the kind of people where's the kebab and, where's the meat at every meal. So when I used to see them come to my restaurant and eat plant-based, and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm like, yes, baby steps, but it's okay. And, it happens that I go to my dad's and he's made fish, and I'm like, Dad, I don't eat fish, and I know he's used chicken broth in the rice or whatever. I don't make a big deal, but I'm like, Dad, like I don't want to eat this.
Exactly.
We're kind of educating them too.
It takes time with family.
It's okay,
And people are kind of stuck in their old ways. And you also look at like what's the norm in society. Crazy enough, vegans who don't want to contribute to animal suffering or to these industries that are bad for the planet or bad on people's health, we end up being the outcasts. We end up being kind of the crazy ones or the different ones, and all of these animal agriculture industries are considered normal. So there's a lot of brainwashing that we have to kind of uncondition people to see the light, and there's so many issues way deeper than even just on a personal level. You look at on a global level, and we're talking like human rights issues that fall under these same categories, So I think there's just so much to take into consideration, and like the average person is a good person, like people that we know, you know, like they're loving people and they have families and they want the best for everyone. But just these food industries need to be kind of more, I guess, exposed for what they are. And I think more people are waking up slowly but surely to this.
Of course. And like remembering 6 years ago and comparing it to now, there's just so many different products right now. It makes me so happy. Like there is a vegan version of almost everything. So
it's so easy now, which is great. So obviously when you went vegan 6 years ago, roughly you said?
Yeah.
About 6 years ago. So tell us a little bit about the original, like just grocery shopping or cooking at home. Like what was
So, I mean, like I mentioned, we have a lot of foods that are already vegan, even though Armenians don't like to say it's vegan. Like putting it under that category makes it kind of weird.
Right.
So yeah, just going out to eat, you know. When we used to go out with friends, I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna eat? They're like, you can have a salad, and I'm like, no, I don't want to have a salad. I could have a salad at home, you know.
Exactly.
And then, or I remember in the beginnings of all this movement, we used to go to a restaurant, and it was like, well, we could make tofu for you, and I'm like, well, I don't like tofu that much either, you know.
Exactly.
So it was very limited. So now the sky's the limit right now, and I'm amazed with all the creative entrepreneurs out there, you know, creating new stuff every day.
Same here. Just wanted to take a quick break to thank our sponsors, Rise Kombucha, a sparkling fermented beverage loaded with antioxidants and probiotics, known for promoting healthy digestive system and building your immunity. As you guys know, I like to eat a lot of comfort foods, so Rise is the perfect drink to help balance out and keep me healthy. Thank you again, Rise, for sponsoring today's episode. So tell us a little bit more about how your current business, which is called 57 Vegan, and started as 57 Cows, which is a vegan restaurant in Laval, right?
Yes, so if we go back before the restaurant, my mom actually owned Crazy Falafel in Laval, which is meat, shish tawk, shawarma, burgers, but like real meat. Yeah. And as she was transitioning, you know, I was with her during that transition, and because we couldn't find a lot of vegetarian or vegan options, we're like, you know what? We're sick of this business anyway. We don't eat meat anyway. Let's close this and turn it into something vegan or vegetarian. So I remember, you know, we had switched the restaurant, and the old customers used to come in. They're like, there is no meat. You're going to close very soon, lady. You know?
Oh, gosh. So you're getting a little bit of, like, hate and bad feedback in the beginning. But that's so amazing. Yeah. That's so brave of you and your mom to make that decision that you're not eating meat. You don't want to support that industry. You don't want to sell it anymore. Because a lot of people sometimes just continue selling these products because they're making money. Yeah. But you guys had that awakening that you want to do a business that's more aligned with your personal life. I like that.
Exactly. So we closed the meat shop and we opened a vegetarian restaurant. In the beginning it was vegetarian. Okay. And it was called 57 Cows because all our menu was like falafel sandwiches. Yeah. We had Greek falafel sandwich with tzatziki, Mexican with corn, like stuffed like a burrito and salsa, Indian with Indian flavors and spicy. Yeah. So it was all falafel sandwiches and plates. Yeah. And we had that for a little while, and the sauces existed in vegan and vegetarian.
So you gave both options from the beginning?
We had given both options. But we heard a lot of feedback from the vegan community, and they're like, well, you know, you should stop vegetarian completely. And I'm like, you know, okay, I don't mind that at all.
I love that. So they were approaching you like based from like an ethical standpoint for the animals? I love that. I love that. And shout out to those activists. I think that was a great thing.
Exactly. They made us change, so... There you go. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's great.
And we thought, I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat falafel every day, and I'm here every day. Yeah. So I can imagine people, too. They're not going to eat it every day. We need to have more options on this menu. So we started asking questions about, okay, what should we have? What should we add? And my mom asked me, what do you want to see on the menu, you know, from what we used to have and whatnot. I'm like, the Philly steak sandwich. I know when I used to have meat, I liked that. Yeah. So how can we make a Philly steak sandwich? And she came up with the recipe. She asked questions. She found the TVP. She marinated it. She made tests, and then we started, you know,
I love that,
adding a lot of other recipes on the menu, and there you go. We had a full-fledged Mediterranean a vegan restaurant.
That's beautiful.
With a beautiful menu.
That's
and
amazing.
That's how it started.
That's amazing. And so for the listeners who don't know what TVP is, because for us in the
so
vegan world, but even me for a while, I didn't know what the meaning of TVP is. So why don't you go ahead and let everybody know?
So it's textured vegetable protein, and it's basically soy and gluten, which forms it. And ours is non-GMO.
Okay,
because
perfect.
that's important with soy. So
it's texture. I thought it was total. I still thought it was total vegetable protein. I'm like TVG, total vegetable. So see, I learned something new today. Thank you.
Vegetable protein.
Textured vegetable protein, and it's so crazy because the first time I tried your vegan shish taouk and your vegan shawarma, just the TVP version of it, I was like, whoa. You know, like it is textured a similar way to animal products, and once you put the seasoning there,
exactly, because even even with meat, it doesn't taste good unless you put seasoning. So it's the same concept. You're seasoning the product so that it has taste.
Exactly, seasoning it with plants.
Yes.
For the vegan version, we season plants with more plants. In the animal product version, they're seasoning dead animals with plants. You know, so which one's the easy option? Which one makes more sense, right?
Exactly. Heck yes. So after a while, after a year and a half maybe, we decided we wanted to grow, and because we were in Laval, it was a big challenge because back then in Laval, you know, there wasn't a big community, or Montrealers, it wasn't easy for them to come, and we're like, okay, we need to get this stuff out because it's good. We had a lot of good feedback. I remember days where we had lineups for hours. I used to love every minute. It's very challenging to have a restaurant.
The producer of our show used to actually...
Oh my God, yes. We remember him, like this guy who used to come with his guitar, and I'm like, Mom, it's the singer guy again, you know? We had seen his videos.
It's so funny because when me and him, like, we only met around like almost a year ago now, but I think around 6 months ago, he's like, I wish 57 Cows was still open, you know? That was like my favorite vegan restaurant. I was like, what's 57 Cows? I had never heard of it. And he's like, I think they changed their name now to 57 Vegan.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that sounds a bit more familiar. And then one day, I forget which grocery store I was at, and I was just going through the aisle, and I see 57 Vegan, vegan shish taouk, and vegan shawarma in a package. I was like, whoa, what? This exists? And then I think literally a couple weeks after, we ended up connecting on social media, and then it's been history since then.
You were causing such a scene on social media. Everybody was talking about it. Just like, okay, who is this guy? You know, people started tagging me. You have to connect with him. Okay, I'll connect with him. Let's see what the big deal is.
I love that. And then when you found our page, you saw Apo, who's the producer of the show. Yeah.
You know, I saw him under the video, and I'm like, is this him? Is this not him? You know, he doesn't have his guitar. I'm not sure if it's him anymore. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I started messaging, and it was so cool. I'm like,
such a small world.
Look. Yeah,
such a small world. So happy we all somehow connected with each other, and now here we are.
Exactly. So a year and a half into the restaurant, we wanted to grow it. So that's how we started going after grocery stores. We started packaging the sandwiches and started going and selling into grocery stores. And I'm so grateful for that journey because now we're in a commercial kitchen. We're growing even more.
Exactly. And that's amazing exposure because the grocery store, that's where everybody goes.
Exactly.
You know, like your restaurant, you got to get people to go.
Exactly.
But like me, I was just strolling around and I saw your product. So for them to give your business that platform is amazing. And for them to give plant-based vegan foods is amazing, which shows the shift that it's starting to go because you'll still see 10 other brands that have sandwiches that don't have a vegan option. And then here comes you, 57 Vegan, and you're like, I think probably the sole pre-made vegan sandwiches that are available these days, or is it starting to change now?
Yeah, there's a couple others.
A couple others, okay. It's good to know that it's expanding, and healthy competition means there's a good demand.
Of course,
we love that. That's great.
So one thing that always comes up, or used to come up, was the name 57 Cows.
Yeah.
And I used to hate going to festivals because every time I put the sign up, people would be like, 57 calories? I'm like, no, we're not counting calories, guys, please, no. So we were called 57 Cows because each one of the falafel balls was 57 calories.
Oh, wow. So I usually eat about 15 of those.
Exactly.
So what am I, around 1,000 calories?
I'm not even going to count. So, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the market with 57 cows. Even though I started going to the market with 57 cows, I'm like, we got to rebrand. This is not working. So we called it 57 Vegan.
Okay.
Thankfully, changed it.
Okay.
And that's how, you know, we were growing, and we decided to close the restaurant and just completely work on distribution and go into grocery stores. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah. Crazy time it has been for everybody, but
yes.
It's good to know that luckily through social media, and you are always building your account, that we can go on and reach so much people.
Of course.
In 2021, 2020 was through social media and online delivery services.
Oh yes.
And,
oh yes.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so grateful that you know, we changed the website right before the pandemic, and we added e-commerce.
Yes.
And we were sending out our sandwiches to our customers directly to their homes, and that's what kept us, you know, alive. So I'm so grateful to our customers who kept supporting us and kept ordering from us.
Yeah.
They kept us alive all this time.
That's amazing. Shout out to all the amazing customers. And we love to help, you know, give you a platform too on our page so that people can, you know, find out where they can get amazing products. And what's really cool about your service that you offer is not only do you have all your house made like products, you know, all your shish taouk, your shawarma, your falafel, and all the other amazing things that you make. You also have an online grocery store where you carry products from all the other vegan businesses, right?
So we started that. As soon as the pandemic hit and I put everything online on e-commerce, I'm like, okay, well, how can I keep people coming back to our website? Because not everybody wants to have a sandwich every single day, and you know, and I know from experience, I didn't have time to go grocery shopping, and it was not fun for me to go put on my mask and wash my hands a couple of times and walk around looking at the arrows, making sure, you know, where everybody stays safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to go grocery shopping, so I need to find a way to shop without actually going there. And I'm sure so many people with kids, you know, they're having so much trouble with this. So I'm like, we got to add other stuff on the website, and let's do it. So we started adding other vegan products on the website and kind of created a vegan grocery online.
That's amazing.
And it was appreciated by the customers. So we started growing it.
And you have, I mean, how many different brands do you have on your website now? How many different companies? Are we talking like over 20, over 30?
Probably over 30.
Over 30, that's amazing.
Every day we're getting messages and emails from people because we have the new website now, which is solely a vegan grocery store.
Okay, so basically what you're doing now is you're separating 57 Vegan to just have your products. And the new company is called 57 Marché.
Marché 57.
Marché 57.
Yes.
And that's where you're going to be selling everyone else's products. And none of your products on Marché.
No, for sure. My products too. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So you can get, okay, I got you. So both websites will be pumping and going. Okay, absolutely.
So I'm just going to remove everything else from 57 Vegan's website. Obviously, I'm going to keep it to my brand only.
Okay.
And Marché 57 is going to offer a lot of vegan products from a lot of different companies.
We love that.
Yeah, we needed a vegan grocery store. We used to have one, Herbivore. They closed a while back, and I truly hope they come back into the game because they were great guys with their grocery store. So, Marché 57 is growing. Every day we have messages from people who want to add their products, and that's how I'm like, oh my God, we have so many creative entrepreneurs, and we need to give them that platform, you know, especially the small ones who are starting up. I remember how it was when we were just starting up, so I'm very excited about this new project.
You're doing two businesses at the same time. You're producing food and you're also providing food from other businesses to get to clients' doors through your website. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh, I love the feedback.
That's really great. Just wanted to jump in to thank our sponsors quickly. Thank you, Vegan Nation, an amazing restaurant and grocery store located in the east end of Montreal, known for providing delicious, healthy, plant-based foods with a focus on sustainability and good service. And did I mention they make the best mac and cheese ever? Thank you again, Vegan Nation, for sponsoring today's episode. What is the importance as an entrepreneur when it comes to social media, working with influencers, getting to know your clients through DMs? Like, what's the experience been like for you so far? Do you have advice for other entrepreneurs who might be listening, who already have a business, who might want to start one? Tell me a little bit about, like, do you handle your own social media, like, through, like, DMs and stuff like that? Do you hire people? How does it usually work in your case?
So I think we should all be so grateful for social media, especially we proved it so many times during this pandemic. I mean, just the connection with the customers. If you don't have a storefront, if your storefront is closed, how are you going to connect with your customers?
Exactly.
So social media is very, very important. If you don't have a page, open one fast. Like you're too late already.
For sure.
As far as managing the social media, I used to manage everything. And as the business is growing, I'm like, I have so many hats that I'm wearing and I'm running out of time. So from time to time, I hire people
yes,
like
of course.
you guys.
We know about that firsthand. That's amazing. But you do take the time. So let's say someone just like posts your food in their stories or something. You do respond to them.
We share, we thank them.
Share, exactly.
And it's so important. Like if customers are listening and they want to support businesses that they like, you know, it's so important for you guys to help them, especially the small ones who might not know how it works, you know, or they're just starting. They need people to help them post, talk about it. You're spreading the news about their company when you're posting.
Exactly.
So it's so important.
Yeah, because I think there's like two types of people, you know. There's the people who like to, when they buy their food, they just want to eat it. You know, and then there's the type of person who just wants to like film it first and make sure. And that's a funny story. Like me and Apo, our producer of the show, and my partner, basically we'd always have this little conflict. Because every time we'd get food, I'm like, I want to take 20 minutes of videos with the perfect angle of the food and us like eating it. And he's like, I just want to eat it, you know, like hurry up, get this out of the way. So I'm sure it must be like that in the real world. Like some people don't want anything to do with phones and cameras. They want to eat in privacy. And some people are like loving the whole social media thing. But you say it really helps you when people do take an extra minute just to take a picture or a little video and tag your business. And it's a good way of supporting beyond just purchasing stuff, but really giving like the platform that they have to other people so that they can see where they can get this food as well.
And every time you're posting, you know, there's someone new who's learning about that business and thinking, oh, I should support that business. So
that's amazing.
It's all part of the movement,
that's
spreading the news.
100%. That's like, actually, it's how I kind of started growing my page. When I first started my journey, I was like, I'm just going to post everything I eat. And it's literally been almost like 4 years now, and I'm still posting almost everything I eat. Making everybody really hungry around me. And I'm hoping to have that effect on the non-vegan people so that they see this food and are like, oh, that looks so good. I want to try that. You know, I actually had like made a post that I'm like, yes, we as vegans, we're all foodies and we really love taking pictures and videos of our food. But I think the one thing that we're really trying to get across is that look at all this amazing food that no animals had to die for. Look at
all the options,
no animals had to be exploited, or there was no suffering, and there was no violence. You know, like, look at this. That's why I think we're so passionate about showing our food on social media. It's just really the message behind it, that this is a sustainable, plant-based, ethical lifestyle, you know, in so many different ways. So.
And there's no excuse with all the options available today.
There isn't.
we got vegan sushi.
We got everything. You go to the grocery store, you see vegan chicken nuggets, you see vegan burgers, you see like vegan shrimp sometimes, you see just
vegan smoked salmon. That just blew my mind.
They have everything, you know. By 2048, you carry them. Shout out to them. We worked together once, and their food, their stuff is delicious. Made from carrots, you know. Making carrots taste like salmon, or making chickpeas taste like tuna, or making beans taste like whatever, you know, like anything. Once you have a food processor and you have some recipes, you can literally remake any of your favorite dishes from any culture. It doesn't have to be processed. You don't have to go spend a bunch of money on all these products in the stores. You can make everything from scratch. The vegan version, the healthy, whole food, plant-based version.
And I think that's a misconception too. Like, everybody thinks, okay, everything vegan is processed. It's not true. That's what my dad thinks. He doesn't eat my stuff because he thinks vegan means that, you know, they put something secret in it.
It's made in a lab or something.
Exactly. So not everything is processed, and there's so many recipes you can make from just stuff you have in your pantry, from fruits, from vegetables. So
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So again, going back to the social media thing, so you feel it is really important for both the business and for the customer to everyone help support each other.
Yes.
Post the food, repost the food.
Repost.
Build relationships with your clients through DM.
Oh yeah, I have customers I haven't met in person, but I talk to them. Like every time I post something, they message me and we talk as if we're best friends. But
that's right.
It's you know, it's virtual friendship, and I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I have literally so many people that I'm like consider like a brother to me, and maybe we've met once, or maybe we haven't met yet, or maybe we met through social media and ended up becoming best friends. So this lifestyle and journey for myself has put me in contact with some of the most amazing people I've ever met, both just in the vegan community, in the foodie industry, in the activist industry, like in all different groups of people I've met through this journey, and it's been beautiful. And here we are on a podcast, spreading this love, telling people about this lifestyle and this mindset, and thankful for people like you, who have restaurants and businesses that make it accessible for people, because that's probably one of the hardest things. You know, you can have the mindset, but if you don't have accessibility to anything, it's going to make your journey tougher. And
of course. And I remember, we were talking about it too. For me, it's very important that it is accessible and it's not overpriced, and everybody can go afford it and make a vegan choice instead of, that other animal product. So
because a lot of people will kind of say like, oh, vegan food is so expensive.
Because I remember in the beginnings too, it was like that. I mean, there's some places you go have a salad and it's more expensive than having a burger, which is crazy. Or vegan ice cream is suddenly more expensive than the regular one, which blows my mind. Yeah,
exactly. I think what it is really is, besides of course the subsidies that governments give to farmers for animal agriculture, there's also just like not having the availability of those products. So the people who are putting them out, they know there's not that much competition, so they marked it up. But now we're seeing the market starting to become a bit more normal, whereas a lot of the vegan products are becoming the same price as the animal products and stuff like that. So that's what we need to see, so that it makes more sense for the customer to want to buy it. Like look at Starbucks, for example. They want to lead the way with sustainability. They're saying that plant-based is the future, but they're still upcharging for people to use plant milk in their coffee, when you should be encouraging people to use plant milk by making it the same price. And pushing people towards that direction, since that's what they believe. Because if you look at animal agriculture and its impact on the environment, it is known. It's known now. There's no more ignoring it. It is destroying the planet.
Of course.
And we need to move there, for not just for ourselves, but for our future generations and for all of humanity.
That's the most important, the future generations. What are we leaving them with? So.
And for people who have children and grandchildren, like life is not just about you anymore. It's about making this world a better place. So that's what we're hoping people are going to start to make that connection a little bit faster. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you also was, where do you see things in about like 5 years from now? Where do you see things from? Because what I'm talking about here is a plant-based food revolution. I think before the world can really start going vegan, I think it really has to change with the products that people purchase and eat every day. So where do you see the plant-based food revolution in 5 years from today?
Listen, if the vegan community got a place like McDonald's thinking about vegan options, I think they've come a long way. And if they continue, we're probably going to have not just one option, but half the menu maybe is going to be vegan everywhere they walk into, and maybe triple, or so many more people are going to be vegan, and they're going to start incorporating plant-based in their diet. And it's chapeau to the vegan community for doing that. I would never imagine that those big chains like KFC has vegan stuff now. I mean, I would 6 years ago, if you asked me, I was like, no, I'm gonna suffer for a very long time with vegan food, selling vegan food, because people just don't want to eat vegan.
Exactly.
So
so things have changed so much for you in these 5 years.
So
for me, in these last 4 years, I've seen incredible changes. I actually didn't even know. When I first went vegan, I was like, I'm never eating a brownie again. I'm never eating cake again. I'm never eating a burger. I was just like, cool, whatever. I'll just eat some veggies and salad for the rest of my life, because my connection, when I made it, and I didn't care. But then when I found everything, I was like, what?
Exactly.
Vegan cheese? Vegan ice cream? No
now
way.
we actually have the choice to say, okay, vegan, non-healthy vegan, and oh wow, vegan with very good ingredients.
Yeah.
You know,
you have so much variety. I love that. Yeah,
Yes.
I really believe that like things are changing faster and faster.
Yes.
We have more celebrities and more people who have big platforms.
Yeah.
You look at Kim Kardashian
Yes.
now promoting a plant-based
Yes.
diet. Like that's massive, you know.
Of course.
And we need more. We need more celebrities, more politicians, more actors, more influencers to just really start pushing this.
We need more of you.
Well,
You're a very, very hands-on influencer, and
you.
you know, you don't just put one picture of a product. When you find a brand, like you helped us so much in the beginning. All I did was message, you know, can you do a shout out or whatever else? I'll give you a product. I don't even remember. And you did like 10 stories and so many posts. I'm like, wow, this exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Because usually when we work with influencers, you know, I'm like, oh, please, can we send you, you know, product? Or they message us and they say, you know, let's do a contest together.
Yeah.
And it's good. I'm very grateful to them. But then there's, you know, sometimes you approach and they quickly do a shot, or they don't even tag you so that you can repost. I haven't seen influencers like you.
Oh, thank you.
To your level,
Thank you.
I mean, I hope you can.
I'm trying to
pave
inspire.
the way, inspire others.
I'm trying to inspire. Yeah, it's like. I guess everyone with their social media is different, you know?
Yeah,
so
for
some people, their social media is all maybe more about them and like they'll flash what they're eating.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously like, I go all out because I'm just so passionate
Yes.
about really my passion comes from creating change
Yeah.
for the animals and for humanity and for people's lives. Because like it changed my life so much, you know? I lost 40, 50 pounds on a plant-based diet. I feel 10 years younger. I have more energy. I feel so much healthier. I feel happier. I'm more spiritually connected with the universe. Like my life just totally changed, and I've been blessed with so many amazing things.
Yeah.
So I can tell it's just like signs that yes, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I work really hard, and I like to. If I'm working with a brand, I want to give them the full exposure. I want to talk to my followers, give them my reviews of stuff, let them live through me.
Yeah.
Not everyone can get their hands on these products, or you know, they've never seen them before, and now I can give them ideas that, hey, you can also make this. It doesn't mean just because I'm eating a burger from this restaurant, I'm not trying to say like, hey, look at my burger. I'm trying to say, get inspired. Other restaurants get inspired. Make this in your own kitchen.
Yeah.
This
Get
is
creative.
possible.
Yeah.
Get creative. So I like to inspire people to do the same, whether it's regular people or people who are influencers or brands, you know, and I like to hopefully leave a impact on people when they come to my page. And
I think you do.
I appreciate you showing all the love and support. And we actually just released something on your page today, didn't we?
So funny.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that before we close out today's episode.
So I posted it in already. It's been I've been getting messages about it. Like everybody is just mind blown. They're like, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away, or should I?
Well, I mean, it's fine. I think this will come out tomorrow, this episode, so people might have already seen it by then. But is this the first like ad that you've done for 57 Vegan? That's like an official production ad?
Yeah, it's the first one.
Congratulations to you.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
And I had the honor of starring in your ad.
You're the best star, okay? If I don't get you a movie contract before I die, I swear.
You're too funny. You've been saying that. Actually, you're the one person who's been in my DMs the most,
Every
saying
time.
like, we gotta get you an agent. You're so talented. I'm like, I'm terrible. I'm not a good actor. I'm like, our producer, he coaches me on set. So if it wasn't for him, like telling me 8 times, do this, do that, do this.
So then maybe I should convince him to actually write a movie.
Yeah, well,
and produce it.
Yes. We're definitely looking to get into film and documentaries,
You guys
web
are
series.
so creative.
Thank you. Yeah. Right now we're just building our business, which is like a media business, and we have the Vegan as Fuck platform as well. So we're doing the 2 of those, but we definitely would like to get into film soon and create like content that's really going to change the world. You know, that's really important for us to leave an impact and sustain ourselves at the same time. And if we can drive Teslas one day, that'd be great. If not, I'm okay with my 20-year-old car and the bumper's falling off right now. You know, but hey, maybe in a year from now we'll be in a different space. And I'm joking. I personally just want to be successful so that I can help. Now, I always wanted to help the animals and help other organizations and charities for human rights and animal rights. And put myself in a position to get better at what I do and spread more love and positive energy into this world.
Isn't that the point of living?
That is it. And you are doing an amazing job at that. And it's been an absolute pleasure connecting with you,
so much.
with your business and all the work that we've done. And people can go check out your main page, which is 57 Vegan. And then they have the new grocery page, which is Marché 57, we'll say in English. So, but yeah, it's been an absolute also pleasure having you on today's episode. And I think a lot of people will have learned some amazing things today.
I hope so.
From listening.
I hope so.
And to all the amazing viewers and listeners out there, this was episode 8 of the Vegan as Fuck podcast, sponsored by Rise Kombucha and Vegan Nation. Thank you again, Tamar, for coming.